Hi everyone. Today we're going to be talking about a gardening method called winter sowing. Now winter sowing, just as the name implies, it's mid-February here in Wichita and we're going to be planting seeds. Now people are like, it's mid-February, you're going to be planting seeds. Yes, but what we're doing is we're creating a mini greenhouse environment with these empty water bottles. So I don't know if you can notice right now, but these I just planted about 10 minutes ago and they're already starting to quote unquote fog up. So what we're doing now is we have this environment where it's a mini greenhouse. We have the seeds. They're going to be kept warm during the day, and it's going to be okay for when the temperature drops, because these seeds I'm planting today are in the brassica family. Now the brassicas include any leafy greens, spinaches, lettuces, kales, Swiss chard, cabbages, broccoli, cauliflower. Basically, a lot of variety in this category. And even if you familiar with these, you know they don't really do that well in the heat. So they're going to be doing fine in this cold weather, and they're going to be having a nice environment to sprout and thrive in these mini greenhouses we're creating now. Let's go over the method, which, first of all, you need an empty water bottle or a milk jug, whatever you have. And you're going to want to cut it open into something called a clamshell shape. So I usually have my non-cut area at the corner so that you can have a nice flow to your opening and closing. Now you're going to want to fill the container about that much for seedlings. You don't really need a lot of soil, but you do need enough because you want to create an environment where you're going to keep the heat in there too. The soil's going to retain some heat. If you notice, these bottles are very tall, and the jugs, the other kinds of water jugs, they're usually a little smaller. And usually if it was the other kind of water jug, I would have the handle on one side and the place where I didn't cut the bottle on the other. Now another thing you got to make sure of is what you want to do is, on the bottom of these I've cut some aeration holes for the water to drain out, because too much water is going to make the seeds rot, but just enough water is going to make them sprout. So we're going to create the perfect controlled environment for these little guys to sprout. So I've already planted them, and it was very easy. I just picked out what brassicas I wanted to plant, and I always have a Sharpie available, and I made my holes with the Sharpie, and I planted a lot because this is seedlings, and you want to sprout these and have a variety. You can put them in other pots later. You can discard them, because what you're going to have to do is when they come up, you're going to have to make a decision which ones are the best that you want to keep. So remember, you got to have your aeration holes on the bottom, which you can easily achieve with a kitchen knife. And there's the Wichita wind blowing up. And then you make sure that you plant your seeds not too far down, but just far enough. And you want to make sure that the soil is moist to a level where it's not sapping wet, but it is very moist. So this top layer I just put on top. It's dry soil from the bag, yet I had mixed water in with the bottom where I planted the seeds. So before I close this up, I'm just going to take a little bit of water. And what we're going to do is we're going to take the little bit of water and we're going to make sure that they're nice and moist, not too much, because this water is going to spread around. And then we're going to seal it up. And what we're going to seal it up with is just some basic clear packing tape. And you don't even have to use clear packing tape. If you have some old duct tape laying around, that'll work. And what you're going to do is you're just going to plant them, and you're just going to check them. Just check them once in a while. Make sure there's enough moisture in there. And if there isn't, just bring them inside, take the cap off, and put some moisture in there. Now, it's important that you have air holes at the top, because you got to have air and circulation in there, and you got to have a way for the environment to kind of self-maintain itself. So again, it's real easy to get going. Even though it's mid-February, you can get growing some gardens today. Get yourself some seeds, get yourself some soil, because for the amount of plants that are going to come up, for the availability that I'm going to have a lot of value for the 99-cent seed pack. As far as each seedling, usually at the grocery store or the Home Depot or whatever box store you may go to, or nursery, it's probably at least $3 a piece when you want to plant a garden. So this is a really economical way to start your garden. It's fun. You can get the kids involved. Make sure the kids aren't using the knife. Maybe that's the grown-up part. But again, they can have the kids put the seeds in the soil. You can have them put the water on, and then they could. It's something maybe you could put them in charge of, where they could just go out there and check the moisture level of the plants. Okay, even though it's the winter, you can get some seeds going. It's time to get growing gardens. And I love you all. Goodbye.